Good afternoon, everyone. We're still seeing folks trickle in, so we're going to give it a minute or two before we get started. But thank you so much for joining us. All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the new graduate student orientation. My name is Amy Nelson. I'm the Executive Director of the Office of Graduate Studies. It's so nice to sort of see you all here. I wish we were in person, but it is, with the new technology we have now, it's easier to do this for you all before you actually start classes. And so we're excited to have you here. We're excited to present all the information we have. It is a lot. So we're glad you're here on a Friday afternoon slash evening. We know you're all busy and trying to enjoy the rest of your summer before fall starts, but we're glad you're here and we think you will find that the next 2.5 hours are well spent. So before we get into things, we want to get to know you all a little bit better and welcome you. So I'm going to launch a poll here. Hopefully you should see some little box pop up on your screen with some two simple questions there. So if you could go ahead and respond to those. I see some answers popping in there. While you're doing that, again, I just want to welcome you to Cal State Fullerton. Um, we're so excited that you're here. Congratulations on being admitted to your program. That's very exciting. You have earned your spot here. We're excited if you're coming back to Cal State Fullerton. If you already earned a degree from us, welcome back. We're so excited you chose us again. If you're new to Cal State Fullerton, welcome to our campus. We know some of you may be doing your degrees online, and so you may not ever visit our campus, but if you do, we hope to see you. If you are going to be here on campus, we look forward to seeing you in the next couple of weeks. So whatever your background is, we are very excited to see you here and to welcome you to the Titan community. I'm here with a team of folks who are just as excited as me to welcome you. They have lots of information that they want to share with you, and so you'll be meeting all of them very soon. I have a whole team in the Office of Graduate Studies that helped put this together, and so I just wanted to thank them and thank all of our presenters from across campus who are here with us tonight. We're excited to share our resources. We're just going to be scratching the surface, though, as far as resources are concerned with here at Cal State Fullerton. So we are probably not going to be able to get to all of your questions. We're not going to get all the information that we wanted to get out to you, but we are going to follow up with some details. And then, of course, please come in and see us if you do have any questions, and we'll go over some other resources that you'll be able to access. But if you remember nothing from tonight, I hope that you remember that you belong here. You can do this, you've got it, and you've got lots of folks here who are happy to help you if you are not feeling like if you need an extra hand. But you can do this. You are here because we know you can do this. So please reach out if you do need anything during your time here at Cal State Fullerton. So I'm going to stop the poll here for a second and see where we're at. Hopefully you all can see the results, but I am trying to see, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm trying to see where you're all from. It looks like we've got some local folks, Santa Ana, Fullerton, Pasadena, Anaheim. Welcome, welcome. The Bay Area is represented. I see that there. Pomona, driving home. Oh, please be careful. Woodland Hills, Riverside, Temecula. We're getting a little farther out there. Do I see anyone in another state yet? Glendale, looks like all over the place. Netherlands, oh, there we are. I knew we'd have some folks from a different country. That's exciting. You're in a different time zone too, so thank you for being here. All over the place. Welcome, welcome. We are so excited to have you. We also see that many of you are feeling maybe you're not quite ready yet, so for grad school, but we are going to get you there before we start in a couple of weeks. So, and we're going to take a little pulse at the end of this as well and see how you're doing. So welcome from wherever you are this evening, and again, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm very excited now to be able to introduce someone who is probably more excited than I am to welcome you this evening. So I'm very happy to introduce our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amir Dabirian, to welcome you this evening.
Good afternoon. Amy, I need my video to be enabled.
Oh, sorry about that. Don't see how to turn it on. Sorry, Dr. Dabirian. Do you know how I can turn it on? I don't see.
Should be able to enable it. I can go without it. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. I will work on it, but I don't see how to change your video settings. Let's see here. I just made you a co-host. Does that help?
Yes, it
Oh, there we
did.
go. Thank you. So sorry about that.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Amy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to Cal State Fullerton. Welcome, Titans. Those of you been previously a Titan and now Titan again, we call you Super Titan. Again, my name is Amir Dabirian. I'm the provost. I serve as provost and vice president of academy affairs. I am so excited for you to joining. We have over 1,500 graduate students joining at the same time this fall of 2024. Our student body this year is going to be over 43,000 students. We're going to have the largest students ever admitted and continued at Cal State Fullerton. The largest number of students. I'm very, very excited to see all of you on campus, see you in fall semester in fall of 2024. I'm also, just like yourself, I'm a Titan. I graduated with my bachelor degree from this university and my master degree from this university. So I know how it feels to be in your shoes, and I couldn't be excited for you. And so happy for you to join in us and choosing Cal State Fullerton. You have a very important role. You are going to be mentor to our undergraduate students. You're going to be able to help our faculty to thrive in their research and be able to really help the university move forward. So we are very, very thrilled to have you be part of our graduate class of 2024. I want you to know that I like to see all of you on campus. So I'm going to be walking the campus coming this fall. And I want to welcome you in person, physically. I know we're doing this remotely, but I want to welcome you physically. So if you see me around, stop me and say hi. And we love to be part of that Titan family. As I always say, once a Titan, always a Titan. You're going to be Titan for life. And we are looking forward to learn from you as much as you learn from us. Thank you again, and welcome to Cal State Fullerton. Amy, back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dabirian. So great to have you here to welcome our students. And he really does mean that. If you see him on campus, please stop him, ask questions, say hello. He's a wonderful support for our students. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so what are we going to talk about tonight? We have a lot of information to share with you, and definitely want to dive right in. We have included an agenda here to give you an overview of what will be covered. And as I mentioned earlier, we are just scratching the surface here as far as support services for our students. We are going to talk about financial aid, of course, which is a very important piece of this, but we are saving that until the end. So we do have some great resources for you from the Office of Graduate Studies and our Graduate Studies Student Center. We'll share a little bit of details about that. We have some research and writing resources. As many of you know, you're going to be writing a lot in grad school. Many of you will be writing a thesis or dissertation, so we have some support for you for that. Obviously, your health, wellness, and safety are very important while you're a student, and so we want to make sure you understand you have some resources here on campus for that. We also have some student success resources available from our Division of Student Affairs and other areas on campus. And so we're excited to share more of those with you. And then, of course, as I mentioned, we will talk about some financial aid. We are never going to have enough time to give you to talk about financial aid, especially this current year. As you know, there have been some challenges with the financial aid application this year, and our financial aid department has been wonderful working through them. But I know you have lots of questions for them, so they will be here later tonight. We are allowing you to post questions. You'll see the Q&A box on the screen. You are welcome to post questions throughout. We will try to answer them as we go. We will also have time at the end of the session to answer your questions as well. So if you can hold some of them until the end, I think you will find that many of your questions will have been answered as we finish the presentations. But also know that you will also receive a recording of this session. A week or two after this, we do want to obviously clean up the recording, but we will eventually have it on our YouTube channel. So you will be able to watch this later if you forget anything or you need to reference it later. So we will be emailing that link out to you. We will also provide a resource guide that will have additional information because, again, we're not going to be able to cover everything, even in 2.5 hours. So we'll give you more information about other services on campus. And then we would love to get your feedback about tonight's event. So we'll have a little survey in there in our follow-up email as well. Some additional resources, just so you're aware, of course, your program advisors, faculty, and staff are going to be a great resource to you. So you're going to probably know them better than you know many of us who are here tonight, because you're going to be seeing them and working with them on a pretty much daily basis throughout your program. You will, if you haven't yet, or if your program hosts an orientation, you may be going to a second orientation with your program advisors, faculty, and staff. Some of you may have already done that with your program. Some of you will be doing it in the next week or two. There's also a program, an orientation like program this weekend that many of you are attending. So you'll get even more information there. And so there's lots to come in the next couple of weeks. You might, those of you who maybe said, I'm not quite ready yet for fall, in our little poll at the beginning, hopefully you will feel very ready by the time classes start in a couple of weeks. So definitely attend your program orientations. And then, of course, our websites. We have lots of information on our websites. You can pretty much find anything we're going to talk about tonight and other resources on our Cal State Fullerton website. I have provided the Office of Graduate Studies website there because many of the things that we're about to share with you are on our website. And so if you aren't able to find any of the information you're looking for on one of our websites or on a Cal State Fullerton website, of course, there are folks and each department that you can reach out to. So as I said, we're here to support you, but please don't be afraid to reach out if you need anything. We also, of course, nowadays use social media more than ever. A lot of the areas that are going to be sharing resources here with you tonight put a lot of detail on their social media platforms as well, especially events. If you want to be engaged, for those of you who will be physically here on campus, many events are virtual as well. So if you are going to be completing your degree online, you can also join many of our events through virtual platforms. But our social media pages offer all sorts of updates and announcements and reminders. There's lots of deadlines when it comes to college, right? So especially grad school. So you want to pay attention to those types of things. So if you can, follow our social media pages and turn on your notifications so you'll get our important announcements when those come up. So just wanted to give you those housekeeping information and an idea of what we're going to cover tonight. And with that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the information that we want to share from the Office of Graduate Studies. So I'm very excited to introduce one of our admissions evaluators, Karina Paloa, who will be giving you some more information about official transcripts and degree verification.
Hi, so as you already heard, I'm Karina. I am a graduate admissions evaluator, and I will be talking about the final official transcripts and degree verification. Many of you may have already received an email stating that you are required to either submit your final official degree certificate or your final official transcripts with your degree conferral. If you receive this email, it is because you are still in progress of completing your bachelor's degree when you applied. And we just need to verify that you received your bachelor's degree. We will send you regular email reminders to submit your degree verification, so please make sure to keep an eye on your student email. If your degree was in progress when you applied, please submit your final official transcripts with your degree conferred as soon as possible. If you don't, a hold will be placed on your account, preventing you from registering for classes for next semester until we are able to confirm your degree. If you earned your degree from an international institution, please submit the final official degree certificate. If you previously submitted a provisional degree certificate, you will need to make sure to submit your final official degree certificate in order to remove your hold. So the provisional degree is not enough to remove your hold. You can view outstanding items on your student portal where you accepted your admissions, and items will be listed in the to-do list. Click on these items to determine what needs to be down to satisfy the request and who to contact to have the hold removed. So how to review your remaining task list. If I can go to that, thank you. To review your remaining task list, you can log onto your student portal and click on the student home page located in the Title Online section. On this home page, you will find a task section. So it's the one, it's gonna have a little triangle with an exclamation mark, which will provide a brief overview of your remaining tasks or holds. If you do not have any tasks, then there are no documents required from you at that moment. Please keep in mind, though, that the task list is continuously updated, so please make sure to regularly check your student portal. For more detail on your remaining tasks, you can always click on the task icon to learn more about your holds and to-do list items. You can also further click on it again for a detailed description of what the task entails. So that's all I have. Is there, any questions? All right.
Thank you so much, Karina. If you do think of questions related to Karina's presentation, please feel free to post them in the Q&A and we will answer those as we can. So we're going to move on to our next topic, and I'm happy to introduce Carolyn Lee, one of our evaluators in the Office of Graduate Studies, and she will tell you more about grad policies and graduation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carolyn, and I'm, like Amy said, an evaluator in the Office of Graduate Studies. So first off, congratulations and welcome. In an effort to make sure you're well equipped for this milestone, I want to mention just a few graduate student policies. So first, I want to mention that it's the student's responsibility to seek out and become familiar with graduate policy. You can find university policies on the Graduate Studies website by locating the Current Students tab and navigating to Academic Policies and Procedures. Please read through the policies and refer to them throughout your academic career. You don't have to memorize them, just be familiar with them, as you will need to refer to them at some point while you're earning your degree. Next slide, please. So let's discuss grades and grade point average requirements. University policy requires a minimum grade of C for graduate classes. However, some programs require higher grade minimums, so please check with your department to confirm your minimum grade requirements. There are two areas in which the grade point average must be a minimum of 3.0, which is the same as a B average. One area is the study plan coursework, and this includes only the coursework that is required for the degree. It does not include prerequisites. And the other area is graduate coursework. This includes all 500 level courses, 400 level courses that are eligible for graduate credit, and any transfer coursework that has been approved to transfer from another university or from extended education. You'll find both GPAs listed on your Titan Degree Audit, or TDA, which my colleague Stephanie will be talking about shortly. By the way, you might be confused on what is meant by all 400 level courses that are eligible for graduate credit. Many 400 level courses can be taken for graduate credit, which means that as a grad student in that 400 level class, you'll be required to complete additional coursework above and beyond that of an undergrad student. This course description in the current Fullerton catalog will indicate whether it is eligible for grad credit or not, so make sure to check the current catalog before you enroll in the course. Next slide, please. All graduate students, thank you. All graduate students must maintain continuous enrollment in every fall and spring semester until the degree is awarded. Some programs require summer enrollment, so please check with your department to find out if that applies to you. This continuous enrollment policy is different than the undergraduate policy because undergrad students can step away for a semester and not enroll, but graduate students must enroll every fall and spring semester. If you find yourself in a situation that prevents you from enrolling in a semester, you can submit a request for a leave of absence. You must meet certain requirements to be granted a leave of absence, so please be sure to check the qualifying criteria on the leave on the Graduate Studies website. Typical reasons for a leave of absence include illness, active duty, work-related issues, and some others. Please note that all requests for leave of absence must be submitted before the start of the semester that is being requested. For Grad 700, graduate students near the end of their program who have enrolled in all coursework required for the degree and have no other coursework to enroll in may qualify for enrollment in Grad 700. This course is designed for students who need an extra semester to finish a project or a thesis or take a comp exam. This is simply a placeholder course with no units, no attendance, and at a drastically reduced fee. Now let's talk about when you are in your last semester and you are ready to earn your degree. All students must apply for a graduation check and pay the grad check fee. Submission of the grad check is the process by which you communicate to the university that we need to review your record for the award of the degree. Our office will begin reviewing your record for graduation during the semester for which you applied for a grad check. Please check your TDA to make sure everything is in order. As a general timeline, you must submit the grad check before the semester that you plan to finish the degree requirements. The actual deadlines to submit the grad check can be found on the Graduate Studies website under Current Students and Important Dates tab. You'll receive a reminder before every semester of the deadline to apply for a graduation check, as well as instructions for applying. The email will be sent to your student email account. Most communication will go to your student email, so please be sure to check that on a regular basis. As a reminder, keep your address and phone number updated on your student portal, as this is where we will send your diploma. In summary, I covered the policies and procedures that are sometimes misunderstood. Please remember that there are more policies that apply to you as a graduate student, so please become familiar with them on the Graduate Studies website. Good luck to you, and I hope you enjoy your time here at Cal State Fullerton. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carolyn. Great information. One thing I want to reiterate that Carolyn brought up is to check your Cal State Fullerton email. We know, especially for students who are new to Cal State Fullerton, that's sometimes missed and sometimes not completely obvious where to access your Cal State Fullerton email. And so if you need any assistance with that, please contact our office. But do check your Cal State Fullerton email regularly. All communication that comes from your program, from our office, from financial aid, from all departments on campus is going to go to your Fullerton email account. So if you're not checking that, you could be missing some important information. And we see lots of questions coming up in the Q&A, so we are answering them as we go. So please be patient if you don't see a response yet, but we will definitely get to your question. So I'm going to move on to our next presenter, I'm happy to introduce Stephanie Nguyen, our support services specialist, and she will tell you more about the Titan degree audit.
Thank you very much, Amy. And thank you everyone for being here today at our orientation. So as Amy had mentioned, my name is Stephanie, and my role in the Office of Graduate Studies includes overseeing the Titan degree audit for graduate students. So what is the Titan degree audit? So it is commonly known as the TDA here on campus, and it is a document that tracks your academic progress towards completion of your program. So it shows the courses that you've already taken for your study plan, your in-progress courses and where they apply. So things like electives and concentration requirements. And then it also shows what courses you still need to take to finish up your program. As Carolyn had mentioned earlier, it also shows your status on academic requirements and policies. So things like your study plan GPA and your graduate GPA are both tracked on this document. The purpose of the TDA is to compile your academic requirements in one place to make it easier for you and your advisor to see where you currently are in your program. It helps to make sure that you're staying on track for graduation, so that as you're going through your program, you know exactly where you are each semester after you earn your grades for your classes. To run your TDA, it's very easy. All you would need to do is to log into your Cal State Fullerton student portal as you normally would at fullerton.edu. And then once you've logged in, at the upper right, there's going to be a little cube icon that shows different applications, one of which is going to be the Titan degree audit and planner option. So once you go ahead and click on that option, then in a new tab, it'll open up the portal for you to be able to run your degree audit for your program. Next slide, please. So every time you run your TDA through the student portal, it will pull your most up-to-date student records and display them. So what this means is that if you had just enrolled in a course, or maybe you just dropped a course, or your instructor has just uploaded your final course grade at the end of the semester, then your TDA is going to show that updated information, and it's going to refresh. It's going to turn those X's for incompletes into check marks. And it's very satisfying when that happens, so that you are making progress towards completion of your degree. We always recommend that when you want to take a look at your TDA, again, run a new one, because that's going to reflect the most accurate snapshot of where you are in your current program. You may see old archived versions of your TDA. Maybe you ran it last semester, maybe you ran it last year, but you definitely want to run a new version of it so it has the most up-to-date information. You can run your TDA at any time, 24/7. There's no downtime for it, but there are some particularly useful times that you may want to run it, such as prior to any academic advisement appointments you have. You could bring it so that you and your advisor could take a look at it, or at the end of an academic term after your instructors have uploaded your course grades into the student information system. That's also when it's very useful to run a new version of your TDA to make sure that you're on track. Right. Next slide, please. All right. If you have any questions about your study plan or your TDA, we always recommend that you speak with your designated graduate advisor first. And the reason for that is because they are the experts on the graduate program that you're currently in. So your advisor is going to be your main point of contact for help with what classes to enroll in for each semester, or if you'd like to transfer a course from another university onto your Cal State Fullerton study plan and things like that. So each program has a designated graduate advisor, and you can check who your advisor is by going onto our website, which is fullerton.edu/graduate. And then if you scroll down on the very front page, there's going to be a button that says Explore our graduate degree programs, and that's going to list the graduate advisor for all of the programs. That's where you would go to if you have questions on your academic progress, your study plan, and things like that. If you do experience any issues with running your TDA on the technical side, you could always reach out to our office, either at our main reception email, gradstudies@fullerton.edu, or specifically to our TDA email, which is gradtda@fullerton.edu. Say hi to us. All right, that's it. So I'll go ahead and hand it back to Amy for the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Sorry, the slides are popping around there. Great information, and your TDA is very important. Definitely check it often, and talk to your advisor if you notice any discrepancies. So next, we are going to talk a little bit about financial aid resources and the funding opportunities, awards, or events that are offered through the Office of Graduate Studies. So this is sort of separate from financial aid, which will come up later this evening. So we do offer some scholarships and other financial aid through the Office of Graduate Studies. All of these are available. More information is available on our website, so definitely check that, as we've mentioned a couple of times. We do have a Graduate Equity Fellowship announcement coming soon. We normally award that fellowship in the spring, but we did not award last spring, so we are going to be awarding it this fall. So fall 2024, you'll be seeing more information about that, how to apply, in our deadline. So we'll be awarding that scholarship soon, and then we will award again in the spring of 2025. So pay attention to updates you might hear about that, and those will be posted on our website as well. There are also lots of university or so Cal State Fullerton or Cal State scholarships available, and they range from, you know, a couple of $100s to several thousand. Some even pay for your full semester or maybe even all of your tuition. So we encourage students to look at the financial aid website to learn more about that. Look at your college website. So depending on which program you're in, your college may have specific scholarships available for you. And then if you go into your student portal, you will notice one of the apps actually is called Scholarships. And if you click on that, it is a way for you to complete an application for scholarships. And any department on campus that uses that scholarship application can then basically do a search. And if your name and information come up in that search, you may qualify for a scholarship. So it's important to complete that application just to see what you're eligible for. So I'd encourage you to look at that, especially before you start in the next couple of weeks, because scholarships can kind of be like a part-time job to apply to. So you want to have some time set aside to be able to do that. We also provide what we call the Giles T. Brown Thesis Support Award. We have a very generous donor who has given a lot of money to Cal State Fullerton to support graduate students. And one way we give that money to students is through thesis support. And so if you are writing a thesis or a dissertation, you may be able to access this. We are going to be using the funds this year to support students to travel to conferences or other professional development events, which is very important for you in terms of presenting your research. And so if you are interested in doing that, please check back on our website for more details. The Cal State system also provides awards or scholarships for students who are interested in getting a doctorate and potentially coming back to the Cal State system to teach and to become faculty. And so those last two awards there are in reference to that. The Sally Casanova pre-doctoral program, they will support you to research about potential doctoral programs that you want to enter. And then the Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program is a forgivable loan program for students who go into a doctoral program and intend to come back to teach at a Cal State campus. So again, these are just a few opportunities for you. Please, again, check the financial aid website, check your college website, and ask your advisor as well for more details about those opportunities. The other awards and events that we host through the Office of Graduate Studies are the Giles T. Brown Thesis Excellence Award. This is something that you would be potentially nominated for by your thesis chair, and you would be acknowledged for your for research that you contribute to your field. And so this is obviously an exciting award to be nominated for. We award in the spring. And so this is something many of you, if you are writing a thesis, you won't be nominated this year because you're probably, well, potentially you could be, I guess, if you're finishing in a year, but this is at the end of your program. And so next spring, we would be announcing our awardees for this academic term. So watch out for that. And of course, talk to your advisor about that opportunity, or reach out to our office and we can tell you more about that. We also provide other opportunities for you to present your research in what we call, one of the events is called Grad Slam. It's kind of fun. It's almost like, sort of like speed dating. It's probably not the best way to describe it, but Grad Slam is a way for you to present your, again, your research. But it's a 3-minute competition. So you literally only have 3 minutes to present information about your research, but there is an award, a monetary award. And it's exciting because those of you who are, who maybe win the first, second, or third place of this competition would advance to the Cal State competition. And so again, it's just a really exciting way for you to present your research and highlight what you do and how you're going to contribute to your field of study. And so we encourage students to participate in that as much as possible. And then there's also a Cal State Fullerton student research competition each spring that you can participate in if you choose to. That is an opt-in opportunity, but there are cash prizes for winners. We definitely like to support our students in their research, and so however we can, and then to highlight it, of course, and share it with our communities, because it's very important that you're all advancing knowledge in your own subject areas. So again, all of more details and all this information are on our website if you would like to learn more about any of these. Next, I believe, yes, it is my pleasure to, oh, sorry, I thought Elliot was up. I have one more piece to provide more information for you. So we also have a graduate studies center on campus specifically for our graduate students. Normally, the person who is sort of hosting this event and would be presenting this information would be our senior program coordinator. That position is vacant currently, but we have just hired someone who is hopefully starting very soon. And so that person couldn't be here today, but we will definitely let you know when they do start and when they're here on campus. So we will introduce that person to you. So this is, I'm going to share this information with you in the meantime. But our Graduate Studies Center is in our Pollock Library North in PLN 121. It has been closed all summer because we are renovating it, and it's a new location for us. We used to be located in a different building. So those of you who maybe visited our center before, if you were a student here before, you might think of us in Langsdorff Hall, but we recently moved. So our new location is in the library. We have a wonderful place for you to come and study. We have a private study room that you can reserve if needed. We also have a little kitchenette, so if you want to come and heat your lunch up, or we have a refrigerator as well, so if you want to store some food, you can use our kitchenette. We also provide writing appointments, so writing support. So if you need help with your thesis or other papers you're writing for courses and things like that, you can make appointments with our writing consultants. And then, of course, we have lots of workshops and events throughout the year to support you through your program. And some of the partners we work with are here tonight, and I'll tell you more about some of those events that they help us host. Our hours are posted there, so we encourage you to come in and use our space as much as possible. Come meet our new coordinator when they're here, meet our graduate assistants. We have wonderful graduate assistants who work in the space, and they are wonderful resources to you as peers. But we are excited to see you there and excited to reopen it again when it's available in the fall. So we also have a social media page, so please follow us. As I mentioned, we do post lots of things on our social media platforms. So we will post announcements about when our doors are going to reopen and who our new coordinator is and all that good stuff. So please be sure to follow us at CSUF Grad Studies on Instagram. We would love to see you there. And I think with that, it is now my turn to turn it over to Elliot Kasaboom, our thesis and dissertation reader.
Hi, everybody. My name is Elliot Kasaboom, like Amy said. I'm the university thesis dissertation reader. So I'm going to give you just a real quick spiel about what that process looks like, how you can get help, sort of all of that stuff. Okay, so here you'll see this is the basic structure for writing and submitting a thesis or a dissertation. I want to start out by being really clear that this applies to 598 and 698 theses and dissertations. If you're doing a 597 project, a lot of times we casually call those a thesis, but you do not have to deal with this kind of whole set of steps that I'm going to be talking about here. So luckily, writing a thesis and dissertation, super easy, no problems. It's going to take you no time at all. You're going to start with the writing and defense of your paper. As of now, we recently changed so that defending is not a university-wide requirement. It will depend on your program. You'll be getting a thesis chair that you choose in your department to help sort of shepherd you through this process. they can tell you if you need to have a defense and what that defense is going to look like. Once you have written your paper and defended it, your chair and your thesis committee are happy with it, you'll submit it to me, thesis reader, for revising. Talk about what that looks like in a second. And then finally, we're going to publish it, put it all up online, get it all ready to go. We no longer do physically printed copies of your thesis or dissertation. We're going to post them online, which I can talk about on the next slide. Okay, so when you're doing your writing and defense, the very first thing I always ask is that you read through the thesis dissertation manual and template. Those are available on our thesis dissertation website. I'll give you a link to that at the end of my little talk here. All right, the manual is going to give you sort of the process and definitional information. So it'll tell you what a thesis and dissertation are, what the process for writing and submitting, all of that stuff, requirements for publishing, sort of all of that good stuff. The template instead is going to be a Microsoft Word file that you copy your work into, and it's going to have all of the formatting instructions. So what do your headings look like? Where do page numbers go? Do we have a table of contents? Sort of all of that info is covered in the template. So you'll read through those two documents from our website. You'll write your paper with the help of your committee. You'll defend your paper, and then you will make any edits that are requested by your committee. So you and your committee, your writing and defense process is really all about the content of your paper, your research, explaining, if you do, for example, a qualitative study, explaining what your methodologies were, what tools you used, your findings, your discussion, sort of all of that stuff. On my end, instead, I'm going to be focusing on things like the formatting of it. Next slide, please. Okay, so when you submit it to me for checking, you're going to use our submission form online. This is one form. It's a Microsoft form. It's really simple. It has, it has your name, your email address, the title of your paper, and at the end, it has an upload for your finalized paper. So you don't have to go out and get signatures from your committee members. You don't have to submit 10 different documents. You're just going to be using this submission form. And whether you have a thesis or a dissertation, it'll be the same form. You just click a little different button at the beginning of it. Okay. After you've submitted it using the submission form, your committee members will automatically be contacted for a verification form. They sign off on it, say the student has defended, has met all requirements, it's good to go. And then we at Graduate Studies can start working with your paper. So once I get all of that, I'm going to review your paper. I work with them in the order that we get them. So submit earlier, hear back earlier. Pretty good deal. Okay, we're going to finalize formatting, accessibility, and citations and references. So I'm going to help you handle what your paper actually looks like. Again, headings, where page numbers are, what figures and tables look like, all of that stuff. I'll make sure that it's accessible because this is a digitally published document. We want to make sure that everybody can access it if they use assistive technologies, for example. And then finally, I'm going to check out your citations and references. So if you're using APA, if you're using Chicago, if you're using IEEE, all of that info is available in our template. I'm happy to help you work through it. But those three things, the formatting, accessibility, citation, and references, that's really what I handle. Okay, next slide, please. Okay. Once you have made any revisions I request, once I've touched it up on my end, you and I are going to work together to reach a consensus that your paper is ready for publishing. We don't publish papers until the student is happy with them. So that's going to be you and I saying, I'm all happy with it, you're all happy with it, let me go ahead and finalize that for you. Your paper is going to be published online, first on Zenodo. Zenodo is an open access database for papers. It's like all the other databases you've used before, whether you've used JSTOR or EBSCO. It is open access, meaning that you do not have to have a university account to find your paper. Anybody can find it. It's pretty cool. You can send a link to your parents and they can look at it and ask you questions about everything that you've researched. Okay. And then after that, it's going to get published on ScholarWorks, very similar to Zenodo, except Zenodo covers tons of researchers all over the world. There's all kinds of different papers and stuff. ScholarWorks, we have a special section that's just for Cal State Fullerton papers, and it kind of goes into there. Once your paper is finalized, I alert Graduate Studies internally. I say this student did an awesome job. Their paper is all good. and then your 598 or 698 requirement is met. Okay, so it sounds like a lot. It's not too much. I promise it's pretty simple. You can find all of these steps on our website too. On our last slide, please. Okay. Our website, I'll pop it into chat in just a second. I took it off this slide. I shouldn't have. It'll have info like the thesis template and the manual that I talked about. It has a breakdown of basically what I said on the website itself, a couple of helpful links. It also has our submission deadlines. Just as an example, the fall submission deadline is November 15th. Our deadlines are usually second or third week of fall, or I'm sorry, second or third week of November, second or third week of April, and the first or second week of July for fall, spring, and summer. You can submit your paper for fall, spring, or summer. Those are our 3 reading terms, okay? Most Mondays, meaning basically not the last month of the semester when I'm going crazy trying to read all of these papers, you can reach out to me on Zoom. I have open office hours. You are always free to email me. I'm more than happy to help. You don't have to have anything to email me. As long as you're taking a 598 course, shoot me an email. I can do whatever I can. You don't have to have chosen a committee or a topic. If you just want to reach out and say hi, I would love to say hi. Okay, so that's it for me. I will be around in the chat if there's anything I can help with. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Elliot. This is wonderful information. If you are writing a thesis or dissertation, not all programs do require that, and some of you will have the choice. So if you are not doing a thesis or dissertation, please don't worry about any of the information you just heard. But if you are, definitely pay attention and access Elliot, because they are wonderful in terms of helping support you through this process. Deadlines are also very important. So we're going to reiterate that again. Please pay attention to deadlines, because if you miss them, then you will have to change your graduation date. I do see one hand raised. Matthew, if you could post your question in the Q&A, we will answer it there. Thank you so much. So we are going to continue on now. Outside of the Office of Graduate Studies, we have some partners here with us. And so we're going to jump into health, wellness, and safety. And so I am happy to introduce Dr. Annie Petrosian, who is from Counseling and Psychological Services.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me, and thank you for the welcome. Welcome to all of our students here today. I am here to talk to you briefly about some of the mental health and wellness resources that we have for you on campus. Essentially, Counseling and Psych Services on our campus provides brief therapy, crisis intervention, referrals for more intensive therapy, and support and outreach on all mental health concerns. Here are some phone numbers and location information. So we are available 24/7 by telephone for crisis support at our main number. Our office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And our location is in Titan Hall, which is right across the street from the TSU. The street address is 1111 State College Boulevard. You check in on the first floor. And in terms of our routine appointments, we offer them both in person and by Zoom, depending on your preference and whatever makes the most sense for you. We also offer, in addition to individual therapy, we also offer group therapy, medication management or consultation, wellness workshops that are psychoeducational workshops, and self-care and emotional wellness events. On the third floor of Titan Hall, we have a wellness room with massage chairs, nap pods that you can reserve, coloring books, yoga classes, and a self-care library. And I would really recommend that you follow us on Instagram and periodically check our website for the most up-to-date information on our programming for the semester. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to share with you kind of a pyramid of services that we offer, and they range from the more low intensive services at the bottom, the blue part of the pyramid, all the way to the more intense services, and you're welcome to access any of them. And I also wanted to, next slide please, also wanted to orient you to our website. So this is our homepage, fullerton.edu/caps. And this is where, as the semester gets going, as we start finalizing our programming for the semester, really encourage you to bookmark the calendar of events. That's where all of our group information is located, which groups are running which days of the week. That's where, when we have special events that are happening, we tend to do doggy therapy events, outreach events, and programming. All of that will show up on the calendar of events. And then you can also check our overview of services for general information. Although you're also welcome to call and speak with our front desk staff. They are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. They can answer any general questions that you may have as well. I tend to do some programming in the Grad Study Center over the course of the semester too. So please feel free to chat, say hi, and we can talk at that point as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Petrosian. She is a great resource and liaison to our Graduate Studies Center. And so hopefully you'll get to know her a little bit better there during our events. And thank you so much for being here. We are going to move right along to our next service, which is Basic Needs Services. And I am happy to introduce Chris Reyes, who will tell you a little bit more about their services.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Reyes. I'm actually a grad student that's current right now. I'm in my second year in the MSHE program, so happy to be here. Happy to be surrounded with fellow Titans, and congratulations on becoming a Titan. So first off, Basic Needs Services, we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 in McCarthy Hall. Our office number is 143. You can see our website and email right here. And you're always welcome to contact us if you have any questions, as well as if you'd like to follow us on Instagram. That's a great way to know of any programming that we have coming up, as well as events. And also just liking to let you know about great opportunities for CSU students. So if you didn't already know, one of my favorite things and one of the better posts that we had on social media was that the Metrolink train is free for CSU students through the Adventure Pass. So if you'd like to know information like that, please follow us on Instagram. Next slide, please. So we connect students who experience unforeseen hardship that result from food, housing, or financial insecurity to available on and off campus resources. So there might be times where students, even grad students, might have trouble finding food, might be food insecure, might have challenges with housing, or even with finances. And that's kind of where we might be able to step in and support. So students who submit a basic needs service request meet with our staff. So I'm actually one of the people that you would meet with and connect with to talk a little bit more about what's been going on, understand your situation, and let you know what kind of resources we might be able to provide directly or what's available in the community. Now, just so you're aware, some availability of our services may be paused or adjusted depending on the timing of year and the availability of that service. So like our housing is finite. It can be filled up at times. And when you go to our basic needs request form, you'll usually see food, housing, and financial as the 3 items that you can request. But for any reason one is not available, it will be taken off of the request form during that time. So just wanted to make sure you were aware of that. Next slide, please. So there is some eligibility criteria, but essentially if you are currently enrolled, matriculated, that'd be the first item of criteria during the semester of your request. Now this includes summer, this also includes winter. So if you're somebody who might be an incoming student, or it might be during winter break and you're not taking classes and you submit a request, we're still happy to meet with you, but we would only be able to talk about community resources. We wouldn't be able to provide direct resources. If you're enrolled at least part-time in graduate or undergraduate programs in the semester of your request. We do have a requirement of in good academic standing of 2.0 GPA, but keep in mind that anybody with a lower than 2.0 GPA, their request will still be reviewed. And lastly, if you're experiencing a current, recent, unanticipated basic needs insecurity during the semester seeking assistance, we do sometimes have people who are very forward thinking. So they'll connect with us, sometime in August and September, concerned about I'm not sure how I'm going to pay for housing in January. Now it's several months away. We don't necessarily support that far out, but we're happy to meet, happy to talk about resources, and then we would highly recommend that that person resubmit as that date, the date of concern approaches. Next slide, please. Oh, well, sorry, one last thing. All of our requests are reviewed by our care review committee. So I just wanted to let you know that, the person you meet with is not the only person that checks in and knows a little bit more about your situation. We also have a care review committee who also reviews this. Thank you. Now, our types of basic needs assistance. So the three on the left, you'll see food assistance, temporary housing, and basic needs grants. These are the ones where we would require a request form. It gives us a little bit more information about what's going on, lets you tell your story so that we can come into the meeting prepared and ready to talk to you about resources, and possibly having already connected with campus partners if you give us permission. But one of the last questions in the request form is if you give us FERPA consent to connect with other areas on your behalf. The other two items, hygiene products and the career closet, are drop-in services. No appointment needed. You would just come to our center in McCarthy Hall and you'd be able to access for hygiene products up to 5 full-size hygiene products once per month. So you could come in and get shampoo, conditioner, shaving cream, shavers, things like that, feminine products as well. And the idea here is we know that's not going to solve all of your financial issues, but if it gets your money to stretch a little bit further during the month, we're all about that. Helping you be successful in your finances so that you could be successful in the classroom. We also have a career closet, which is items donated by staff and faculty. So you can come in and try them on. And it's actually a little a little dressing room. So you could actually try things on, see if you like them, and you could take up to 6 items in your one visit. Now, keep in mind, these are all donation based. So we might not have everything you're looking for or everything that's listed on our website, but we do want to make sure that we support as many Titans as possible. Now, on the left hand, we talked about food assistance. Now, keep in mind, our food assistance is short term, and we try to connect you to long-term things like CalFresh. And then with temporary housing, I wanted to make sure you're aware that's if you're having an unexpected, immediate, unforeseen circumstance, and it's also up to 3 weeks. I know that's not a whole lot of time, but that gives you a little time to figure out what the next step will be for your situation. And then our basic needs grant, also related to unforeseen financial hardship. And whatever you're looking for support with would need to be unpaid. And we would talk about that more in our meeting so that we can support you the best we can. So just keep in mind that our hygiene products and our career closet are accessed during our operating hours of 8 to 5. Next slide, please. Now, we also have basic needs programs and training that's available to all of these all students. So one of the items is a basic needs ambassador seminar where we, give you a little bit more information about what we do and some of the resources we support with. And it's an opportunity for you as a Titan to help other Titans. We also have financial literacy workshops talking about managing debt, also talking about building budgets and understanding credit. You're graduate students, so you might have a little bit of knowledge there, but we definitely want to make sure that if you don't, that you have that information at your fingertips. We also have CalFresh workshops, and we actually support with applications for CalFresh. That's one of the, that was the long-term food support that we were talking about earlier. And then we do events. We will have 2 in September and 2 in October, which are outreach and enrollment days with CalFresh, where we bring social services on campus to meet with you directly, and you can apply with them, you can do your interview with them on campus, and we're turning a 30-day process into a 1-day event where you might be able, if everything goes well, your application is good and you're approved, you'd be able to get your CalFresh EBT card the same day. Next slide, please. All right, well, that was it for me, but thank you so much, everyone. I'll hang out for a few minutes in case you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Chris. This is wonderful information and a great service to our students. So I'm so excited that we have really built this unit up for our campus. Our faculty and staff support it and donate lots of items to the basic needs services. So please, please, please take advantage if you need it. Next up, we have Kristen Ettringer, who is going to tell you a little bit more about Title IX and gender equity.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kristen Entschinger. I use she, her pronouns. I work as Deputy Title IX Coordinator and Senior Civil Rights Investigator in the Title IX and Gender Equity Office. And so if you're not familiar with what that is, a Title IX office on any given campus that receives federal funding is here to ensure that you can continue to have access to your classes, all of the extracurriculars you might get involved in, leadership opportunities, employment, you have it, whatever it is that you're here to do without facing any sort of barriers based on your sex, gender, sexual orientation, or pregnancy status. And so if we click once more, I just do want to share that as a little bit of a content warning in order to talk about the services that we offer here to ensure that you're not facing any sort of barriers or discrimination or harassment. I will briefly reference those concepts today. So next slide. So I want to just share with you, as I mentioned, Title IX actually applies at all different institutions that receive federal funding. And so as a federal law, it is saying that no one should have to face any sort of harassment or discrimination based on sex, gender, sexual orientation, or pregnancy. And we take that really seriously here at Cal State Fullerton. You have rights under Title IX. You should be able to access everything you're here to do. And we take that seriously as a whole department to offer both training and education for our students and employees and other services in case something were to occur. If we click once more, I want you to know that we are here for you. We are located in College Park 205, which is on Nutwood Avenue, and we ensure that both students and employees have those rights afforded to them, have the opportunity to make a report of alleged misconduct, or access other support resources that are going to help them be successful. So for example, a student who is pregnant or parenting can reach out to us to access services without having faced any sort of barriers yet. They're just looking for proactive support. There's no time limit for reaching out to us if something does occur. And we are here also to offer a variety of awareness workshops, educational workshops. There's a lot of things that we do on a proactive level to help our community get engaged. As Chris mentioned, we also have an ambassador program. So if you're interested in gender equity issues, we actually have an ambassador program for students that you are welcome to attend and become a certified Title IX ambassador. Next slide. So our CSU non-discrimination policy is the way that we apply Title IX to Cal State Fullerton. And as you can see here, we have a list of behaviors that we do not stand for within our community. It's important for you to know what these are because we want you to know the types of behaviors that if they were to occur to you or any of your colleagues as you're getting into classes, you have rights to be able to reach out for support. There's actually going to be a lot of training you're going to be getting, which I'll mention in just a moment. So I'm not going to be defining these today, but I wanted you to see that we do prohibit discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, sexual exploitation, dating violence, domestic violence, sexual assault, and prohibit consensual relationships, which means employees should not be engaging in intimate relationships with those over whom they have some sort of significant authority. And we also prohibit retaliation, which means that everyone has the right to reach out for resources without facing any sort of negative behavior because they've reached out for help. We use gender as a bit of an umbrella term. So when you hear me say gender equity, I mean someone's gender identity, their sex they were assigned at birth, their sex characteristics, their gender expression, so how they can communicate their gender out to the world, any sort of stereotype, like a social expectation or assumption someone may place upon them because of their sex, as well as I've referenced, pregnancy, termination of pregnancy, childbirth, breastfeeding, and related medical conditions. So if we click once more, as I mentioned, you are going to get training on this. We actually have our training go through Canvas, which you're going to get so intimately familiar with because I'm sure a lot of your classes are going to have your syllabi and possibly places for you to upload your homework and whatnot on Canvas. And so when you log in on the second or third week of classes, you'll see a new tile on your dashboard on Canvas, and that is your annual Title IX training. All students complete a mandatory Title IX training every year so that our entire community knows what their rights are and what resources are available to them. So look for that in the second or third week of classes. Next slide, please. So we want to just kind of give you a little bit of an overview of what the non-discrimination policy means for you. Everyone has the right to do whatever it is that they're here to do without facing any sort of misconduct. And we strive to create a welcoming environment where those kinds of behaviors do not occur. And our office is really dedicated to providing you options and resources. Most CSUF employees, if you share with them that something may have occurred, will get you directly connected to our office. And that's by design so that you don't have to know how to navigate your way to us. They will help you navigate your way to us. And everyone has the right to report misconduct, support someone else in reporting misconduct without facing retaliation. We also want you to know that once we receive a report, our focus is on the person who may have been harmed. And so we might reach out to that person, ask them what they might like to do moving forward, and really focus and care for their needs. The next slide will share a little bit of other resources besides just our office. So first, we have some campus-based options that you're actually meeting a couple of them today. But our campus confidential advocates are a confidential resource available for both students and employees. And of course, we always have our university police department if that's an appropriate choice for you. We also have campus resources that are just for students. So you're already learning about CAPS today. You're learning about student health services directly after me from Titan Med and Titan Health. So I'm sure that'll be really helpful for you. And then we also have resources off campus. We work a lot with our off-campus partners in both Waymakers and Laura's House, and we have a lot of trust in them. And so if you're looking for help outside of the university, we would suggest you start there. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kristen. That was wonderful. Next, we have our student wellness. Kristen, I'm probably going to say your name wrong. Zizadi. I hope I said that correctly. Our marketing outreach specialist.
Awesome.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kirsten Zadi, and I'll be doing our presentation today. If you can go to the next slide, please. Awesome. So I'll be doing an introduction on Titan Health. We're a partner in well-being. You can go. Awesome. This is our mission statement. Titan Health leads the way in college well-being. Through treatment, prevention, promotion, and advocacy, we are your partner every step of the way. And then Titan Health is broken down into 3 pillars. So Titan Med is going to cover all of our clinical health services. Titan Well is going to cover all our health promotion. And Titan Thrive is our confidential advocacy services. Awesome. So breaking down the financial aspect of it, there's a mandatory health fee that's going to be included in your tuition. The health fee doesn't work as health insurance, and they're not, they don't cancel out each other. We recommend that you always have health insurance. If any treatment that has to be referenced out to either the ER or a hospital, we recommend that you have it, but nothing in the health center will be required for private billing. And you can go. Awesome. So Titan Med offers all the clinical health services like I mentioned. We offer telehealth and in-person appointments, acute care and primary care, so physical exams are able to get done here. We have a laboratory as well, and those laboratories can be done for free to low cost. We have a discarded pharmacy, so we buy everything at face value, so what we buy it for, you're able to buy it for. We offer free x-rays as well as travel and voluntary immunizations, physical rehabilitation services we have here. It costs $40 for the entire semester. You'd be able to get a referral in-house, and then once they are able to make a diagnostic, they're able to send you over there. They have recovery boots. They're able to service all injuries, so we always recommend them. And then our optometry is also $40 for the entire semester for an eye exam. And then we have the little asterisk just because the changes may come depending on the semester. Next slide. Awesome. We offer sexual and reproductive health services. So we offer free pregnancy testing for blood and urine. We also have free burial methods such as condoms, dental dams, and finger cots. You're able to walk into the health clinic with no appointment, and you're able just to grab them. You can also make an appointment. I'll go over that a little bit later in the next slide. But we also offer doxy prep and HID prep, gender affirming care, medical abortion, pap smears, breast exams, birth control, pills, IUD, and Depo-Provera. I think I always say that wrong, so I get nervous. And STI testing and treatment. All the ones that have the little asterisk, you're able to get for free if you qualify for Family Pact. It's a state-funded program. So we always recommend that you book an appointment there to see if you're able to qualify for it. Awesome. Titan Med is by appointment only, so in-person or telehealth. You can go ahead and schedule it through the health portal or give us a call at 657-278-2800. And you're able to scan that QR code for the Titan Health portal. And then our business hours for Titan Med are Monday through Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Friday again from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We also have triage, which is available for advanced and urgent cares during business hours. So if you're walking and you feel like you hurt your wrist, or you feel like you're having symptoms come up of like cold or COVID, you're able to come in and triage will be able to help you immediately. And then we also have an after-hour nurse line, which is going to be the same phone number as Titan Med, which is 657-278-2800. Awesome. And now we have Titan Well, which is our health promotion services. We have diverse topic areas and 3 pillars as well, which breaks down into substance intervention prevention, cooking and healthy optimal movement program, as well as a sexual health awareness group. We have education programs on them, and you're also able to meet one-on-one with each health educator, and they're able to break down each one. So for the sexual health awareness group. It's led by Stephanie, and she'd be able to break down to you all the different berry methods for birth control, how they work, and which one would be most effective for you. We also do education for opioid overdose and Narcan training, sexual health consultations, and health and well-being coaching. For Titanwell, they're available by appointment. You can go for virtually or in person, and then it's going to be that same phone number and the QR code, or you can visit them at their website to reach out. And then lastly, we have Titan Thrive, which is our confidential advocacy services. It's for emotional and safety planning. They're able to educate on administrative or legal reporting, and they're also able to accompany you. So for legal, medical, or admin appointments on or off campus, they're able to see you. They also offer workshops where you're able to go to healing spaces or group therapy, and they also have individual advocate counseling and support groups for fostering a culture of care on and off campus. And so you're able to get by appointment, but if you ever have a crisis during the business hours, you're able just to walk up and speak to an advocate as well. And then you could schedule appointment virtual or in person with the QR code below. It'll take you to the Canley. For immunizations, the only one that's required is hepatitis B. We always make a note that COVID is not required, but it is strongly recommended. And then there's a list as well that are recommended. And then you can always scan the QR code for more information. And then lastly, we always want to shout out our Instagrams. It's a great way to keep up to date with our resources that are available or any information that may change. We have our Instagram at CSUF Titan Health, our TikTok at CSUF Titan Med, and then our YouTube channel, which is CSUF Titan Health. And there's a QR code there to take you to the Instagrams.
Thank you so much. You got through all that so quickly. It's a lot of good information, though. So I did want to ask you a quick question because I think this comes up often since we have some students who complete their degrees online with us. Do students, are they able to use services at another CSU if they are a Fullerton student?
That's correct. You're able, since it's embedded in your tuition, you're able to go to them. So if you take your online class at San Diego, you can take it at San Diego State Health Clinic and they'll be able to see you.
Thank you so much. And there isn't a way to waive your the health fee as part of your student fees, correct? If you already have health insurance, you do have to pay those fees regardless.
Correct. That's why we always recommend to utilize the services.
Awesome. Yeah. And if nothing else, go use the pharmacy because the prices are much less expensive than like a CVS or something. So
Yeah, significantly. Like I believe our plan B right now is only $8. So we buy it for face value of what it cost.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I'll stick around as well for any questions that people may have.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We are at the point in our presentation or orientation to take a quick break, actually. So we are going to let everyone take a quick bio break, drink some water, take a breather for 5 minutes. We are going to come back right at 5:19. So we will be right back. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully that was a good little rest. I know we're getting through a lot of information, and just a reminder, we are recording. We will provide the recording to you when it is available, and we will also mail the slides to you. I know there's lots of good information on these with some QR codes and things like that, and you might not be quick enough to get your camera ready. So we'll be sure to get all of that to you after this evening. So moving right along, we are going to jump into our student success resources, and I'm happy to introduce you to Jennifer Maharo, the director of our Career Center.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Amy. It is such a pleasure to be here today. As Amy suggested, my name is Jennifer Moharo. I currently serve as the director of the Career Center. Next slide, please. So the Career Center is your place to prepare for your future success. We utilize a lot of different resources, and one of those areas is NACE. So the National Association of Colleges Employers has created the career readiness competencies, and we actually embed all of those competencies into our workshops, our appointments, and all of the different ways that we engage our students. The NACE competencies are actually a definition for key skills that you as Titan students, academics, really develop during your academics, during your years with us. But in addition to that, jobs, internships, campus engagement. So those are all different ways that you will develop these NACE competencies. We also create our workshops based on these competencies so that you'll know when you're completing one of our workshops, when you're attending an event, you're going to be developing all of these competencies. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a snapshot of some of the resources that we have. So we offer drive-through services, and no, you don't have to bring your car. It's quick drop-in services. You don't need an appointment. You can come on in either virtually or in person to have a resume reviewed, a cover letter reviewed, get a quick question answered. If you're having trouble navigating our jobs database, Titan Connection, we can help you with that as well. Our drive-through sessions are Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. But for you as graduate students, we also have evening sessions. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we offer drive-through from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 4 to 6:45. So make sure to come and check us out because we want to make sure that we're providing you with the services in the evening and then during the day if you're also available. We have workshops, we have events, we have employers that come onto campus, do panels. We have all of our major events, which include our career fairs and expos. So come and check those out. Next slide, please. One great thing about our career center is we actually have a college career specialist who is designated for each college. So that person is fully understanding and connected with the college. They understand, they work with the faculty, with the student success teams. They also work with employers within the industries that serve those majors. So these college career specialists really have some great insight and information to help you as you're looking for jobs, internships, as you're trying to navigate, okay, what are my next steps? That's what our career specialists can help you with. And this is a place for you to be able to schedule an appointment with those career specialists. Next slide, please. One really great resource that not only is available virtually, but also in hard copy is our career guide. So this career guide gives sample resumes and cover letters. We have tips on interviewing, building your LinkedIn, all of the different things that you may need as you are progressing through your graduate studies. But then also if you're currently working in a position and trying to look to get a different position or a higher position, promotions, other things like, or looking for other types of jobs. One great thing that we're doing right now is we're actually updating this career guide. So this is our 7th edition. Our new 8th edition will actually come live let's see, the first week of fall, actually. Our hard copies will be ready in the spring semester. But right now you can scan this QR code, and get access to the current career guide. Next slide, please. So here's a little bit of information about us. This is our website, where to find us. You can give us a call. We have not only in-person services, but we also provide virtual services. So those are appointments. Those are workshops that are both in-person and virtual. We also have events, like I said, the different career fairs and job fairs. Connect with us on our social media. Come and see us. We have a lot of great services and resources that we can help you as you're progressing through your graduate school degree. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Great resources. And these are definitely, I would also encourage you to take advantage of the services the Career Center provides while you're a student here, because you obviously are going to use your degree to get a job, right? And they can help you do that with mock interviews and resume reviews, all that great stuff. So take advantage. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Futoshi Nakagawa, who is going to tell you more about our Veterans Resource Center.
Good afternoon. My name is Futoshi Nakagawa, and I am an ally and the Associate Director of the Veterans Resource Center here at Cal State Fullerton. Next slide, please. Our director is Dr. Cameron Cook, myself, Futoshi. I got my master's here, by the way, at Cal State Fullerton in education with an emphasis on TESOL, which is teaching English to students of other languages. So I used to be an ESL instructor, and also got my EDD in educational leadership. And that's why I don't have any hair. But moving on, our assistant director is Mr. Alex Ortega. We have our educational access coordinator, Mr. Raymond Garcia. Mr. James Chaw is our retention and success coordinator. Mr. Giovanni Verdejo is our academic support coordinator, and Ms. Vanessa Estrada is our academic support coordinator. Next slide, please. Okay, so the VRC provides comprehensive services to military-connected students that support personal, academic, and professional success. And our core values is we're always student-centered, inclusive, and service-focused. Next slide, please. We have many different programs and services at the VRC, but they're intentionally designed so military-connected students, they receive services when they're transitioning in through the VAP program and the PAVE program, transitioning through the advising and certification team and the Women and Families program, and transitioning out through Vet Forward, where they get help with their resumes. We host job fairs, and there's also auxiliary support through other organizations on campus that support student veterans and military-connected students. Next slide, please. Okay, so the ACT, or the advising and certification team, they are the ones that help you with your classes to make sure that you are taking all the right classes that are degree applicable, that are certifiable, to make sure that you are utilizing your benefits and getting everything you need to from all the benefits, and if you're getting a fee waiver, such as the CalVet fee waiver. The next slide, please. We also have a Women and Families program, Women for Women. It's a student-led program, and we have events and programming throughout the year, as well as a conference that we have every year in the spring. Next slide, please. SVA, Student Veterans of America, is a national student organization that supports student veterans, and there's events throughout the year held by the SVA as well. Next slide, please. And we have Vet Month this November, from November 5th through the 8th. It starts with a flag raising ceremony, and we have engaging events throughout the week, and it concludes with a flag football game, Vets versus Cadets. Next slide, please. Here on this QR code, if you scan it, it'll take us to our website and other additional information and the most up-to-date information and events that we have at the Veterans Resource Center. Next slide, please. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to call us at 657-278-8660 or email us at veterans@fullerton.edu. We are located in Gordon Hall, GH 244. And I just want to say, you know, coming to Cal State Fullerton, you're going to have a great experience. At the Veterans Resource Center, we really focus on community because we believe that community is like the secret ingredient that makes good experiences and to get great memories. And we want everyone to leave Cal State Fullerton with great memories. Thank you. And that is all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nakagawa. This is also another great service to our campus. I totally agree with you about the services you provide. So if you are a veteran or if you want to support our veterans, please visit their center. Thank you so much. And if you are here and you're in the EDD program, reach out because Dr. Nakagawa obviously knows what that program is like. So also his director. So talk to Dr. Cook. All right. Unfortunately, I don't see our next presenter in the room. And so I am going to jump ahead. I will just briefly, I'm not going to try to pretend to know everything about the diversity initiatives and resource centers. But I will, of course, keep the slides in here. And so when we send this out to you, you'll have all the information. But these are great resources to our students. They are physical spaces, but they also provide lots of programming on campus for our students. This is a list of their centers, which we definitely encourage you to utilize if you are a student here in person. They also, they have even more centers than on the second slide here, there is another list here. And so again, just take advantage of their services. It's wonderful community building for our students who identify in these communities on campus. Again, I don't know all the information on their slides, so I'm not going to pretend to know everything here, but we will keep this information on here for you and send this out to you. Here's some more contact information and again, social media you can follow as far as their information. Definitely pay attention to the events they sponsor, any services they provide to students. And again, it's wonderful community building for our students. And then here is their contact information for you if you'd like more information. The diversity initiative and resource centers are located in the library, all on the first floor. I believe they're all on the first floor, which is not far from where our Graduate Studies Center is. So you're going to spend a lot of time in the library. Please take advantage of that and enjoy their services. So I'm going to move on to our Pollock Library and welcome John Cornforth to tell you more about their services.
Well, thank you so much. And as a perfect segue, because I'm going to talk to you about just briefly about the library services and the spaces. And we really do love having our campus partners in our building, including Dirk and the Graduate Studies Center now on the first floor. So next slide, please. There's just kind of like a top 5 things to know that I think every student, graduate student, undergraduate should know about. And for sure, visiting the spaces in the building is very important. It's also good to know about what's available to you virtually in terms of access to databases and getting research support. Next slide, please. So just let you all know that everyone, student, has full privileges to the library. That includes access to our databases online as well as the physical building. And so depending on your program, whether it's fully online, hybrid, or in person, I just want to reiterate the fact that the study spaces, including the rooms, the study rooms, Dirk, the GSC, and accessing librarians at our physical desk on the first floor next to the GSC or very near close to it is available to every student. Next slide, please. Yeah, so to complement the fact that we have our building, the Pollock Library in the middle of campus, we have really awesome and amazing online resources. And that includes over 1 million books in print that that's in the building, but beyond that, 3 to 4 million books online, full text digital access. And beyond that as well are I think over 400 databases that the librarians have selected that we understand are most important to you as researchers and students. And what's nice, I'm going to say this more than once, please visit the library homepage, which is at library.fullerton.edu, also accessible on the homepage of campus, as well as in the portal on the left-hand side. You can favorite the library, just type in library and you can favorite and star that to visit and bookmark our homepage. Really, it's a hub of information in terms of accessing our databases, as well as contact information to all of our wonderful librarians. Next slide, please. But yeah, we do have, like I said already, 1 million books in print. Most of our journal article access in terms of subscriptions are digital. But the nice thing too, and you can see on the right-hand side of the slide here, is that we have a really robust interlibrary loan service. So in other words, whether it's a book that's in print or it's a book that's online, book chapters, as well as access to journals for doing literature reviews or your research needs, we have access to something called interlibrary loan, which gives you access to libraries all around the world. And really amazing thing, and that's one of my favorite services at the library. I was a student assistant at one point, interlibrary loan. Request any article that you need, and within a day, often or less, sometimes within half an hour or so, you can actually deliver in business days articles that you need via email and PDF full text. Just an incredible service. And I can't emphasize this so much. And reach out to your librarians and ask how you can access our services to go beyond the collections within Cal State Fullerton, as well as the entire 23 sister campuses as well. Next slide, please. So yeah, just to kind of point out that, again, visit library.fullerton.edu. And then kind of on the left-hand side, there's something called Find, kind of a link, a menu. And there you'll see our list of databases by subject, as well as our research guides. And we do kind of emphasize the scholarly content, and the librarians, education librarians, all disciplines, which is an example from education, a research guide that's been kind of curtailed and customized by major. So again, that's on the left-hand side of the library homepage under Find and Research Guides, as well as our databases, which are listed A to Z and by subject as well. Next slide, please. And finally, I think it's just really important to emphasize that we have our librarians, we have over 20 librarians who specialize in different subject areas and majors, disciplines. And so it might be the case that you meet us through a class, that through your advisor or your graduate course might request a librarian come to your class and do a library session or workshop on how to do research in your area. But really, I can't emphasize enough, visit the library homepage under research consultations. There's a list of librarians by subject. And the really nice thing is not only do we have chat, meaning you can ask questions 24/7, any time of the day, of the week, of the year, to ask questions online, but also book consultations so that you can meet with us one-on-one for in-depth research support. I myself just have a minute or two left. I can tell you I do these all the time, especially for graduate students. I meet with them regularly, once a week, once a month, going forward with their literature review, your thesis projects, etc. So again, just don't be a stranger to the library. We're in the middle of campus. Know about the resources that are online and reach out for help. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I think the last slide, please. I think that's it. My name is John Cornforth. Again, I'm just one of about 20 librarians. You're welcome to email me directly and then reach out to your subject area librarian as needed going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So sorry about that last slide advancing.
No, it works. All set.
Thank you so much for your time and sharing those resources. We do have a fantastic library, and the librarians as well are super helpful. So please, please, please take John up on what he says. So last but certainly not least, we are moving right along to our financial aid office. And I am happy to welcome Carmen Gutierrez, one of our counselors in the financial aid office.
Hello, it's nice to meet everybody. I'm going to be giving an overview on financial aid. And at the end, I'll go over the contact information that we have. So if you have any further questions for the financial aid office, you can reach out to us. Next slide. So as students are aware, there are two different applications, the California DREAM Act application and the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. Both applications have a priority deadline of March 2nd. We recently were let know by the Department of Education, as some of you are aware, the FAFSA opened up later this year, and that seems to be a trend that will be continuing for the next year. They're seeing a rollout of December 1st instead of pushing it back from October. So as we get information, that priority deadline as of now is still March 2nd, but once we get more information, we will be letting our students know and highlighting that deadline through campus. For our students who are DREAM Act students, you must be living in California and be a resident of California and meeting AB 540 eligibility requirements, or have a U visa or TPS visa. And for our FAFSA students, you must be eligible non-citizens or US citizens, have a valid social security number, a valid diploma or GED. And one important thing that I want to highlight is that our office has different, once the school year gets started, different events. We do in-person events for FAFSA or California DREAM Act application help, but we also host webinars in which anybody can join in. And you will then meet with a counselor and they can kind of go over if you have any questions on the applications. If you aren't able to go to our events, we do record some of our FAFSA in-depth tutorials on how to. So those will always be posted on our YouTube, or we can have them on our financial aid website. Next, please. So for FAFSA applicants, you are eligible for grants and loans. The grants are free aid that you do not have to pay back, and that includes federal work study and the state university grant. For loans, students are entitled to the Grad Plus loan, as well as federal direct unsubsidized loans and private loans. But those would be outside of the university. Next slide, please. For Arcata applicants, you are eligible once again for those private loans. And we included here a link to our scholarships office. That way you can go in and see what different scholarships we offer. You're also entitled to the state university grant and the Dream Loan. Dream Loan, once you apply through the California DREAM Act, this is a separate application that you will then have to fill out afterwards. Next slide, please. So how to get in contact with us. So we do realize that we have a lot of traffic in our office and our phones are continuously ringing. So one thing we want to do and highlight was for students to have the ability to just drop their questions in our website. So if you drop our questions in this electronic link, we usually get back to students between 24 and 72 hours. And next slide. We also have in-person and phone hours. Our in-person hours are usually 8 to 5. And our phone hours are 8 to 6. So we extended it until 6, taking our calls a little bit until about 5:30 because our queue does get long. The only day that kind of differs within the week is Wednesday, when we do open both our office and phone hours at 12:30. We are also encouraging students, if they have any questions about their aid, or if they have any questions about their circumstances changing from what they reported on the FAFSA or the California DREAM Act, we encourage you to meet with one of our counselors, and you can always call in to schedule an appointment. And if you have any documentation that you need to submit, we've also provided a link for where you can securely upload that verification or any documents that we've asked from you. You are also more than welcome to come drop them off at our office or mail them in. There's also a safe drop box in which you can drop your documents off. Next slide. Oh, thank you. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to our office. We would love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmen. And thank you to all of our presenters. This is now your opportunity. I believe you have had lots of answers to your questions already, but most of our presenters are still here. And so now is your opportunity to ask any questions of any of the presenters. I will ask, actually, Carmen, if you don't mind, there was a question in the chat that I think you might be able to answer. Is how many years can a student qualify for a state university grant? Is there a limit?
Sorry, yes. I believe it is 6 years.
Perfect, thank you. And I know a lot of financial aid information is on a case-by-case basis. So if you do have very specific questions, we would encourage you to reach out to the financial aid office directly to have those questions answered. But are there any other questions out there that we didn't answer for you? You can feel free to raise your hand. I believe we can unmute you, or you can post your questions in. Oh, it looks like we have a question in the Q&A for financial aid. If you're currently waitlisted in a course but have the 6 units needed, will it affect your financial aid? So it sounds like you've maybe enrolled in 6 units, but you have a waitlisted course. I assume waitlisted courses don't count as far as enrollment.
They do not count. And I do want to let everybody know that this year, FAFSA, with all the simplification, has gone through several changes. In previous years, students were offered aid based on full-time, half-time, quarter-time. This year, it will depend on how many units. So every student, what you're currently seeing reflected on your account is for full-time enrollment. Once we go back in there, we'll be checking depending on the number of units you have, and your financial aid will be adjusted accordingly.
And I think there's more questions coming in for you, Carmen. Sorry. I think you probably get this question a lot in terms of students who have pending aid but have a balance due. What happens in those cases?
So again, it will be a case-by-case basis, but we do encourage students to call in. We do know that sometimes things aren't going through, and I know we have been struggling, but we encourage students to call our office. That way we make note of the student and we find a way to contact Student Business Services so we can find a way to make sure that students aren't dropped from their courses if it's financial aid that's holding them up.
Thank you. It looks like we have a question from Dana Hanley. Dana, you should be able to ask your question. Can you unmute yourself, Dana? Oh.
The same one. You just covered it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dana. Let's see, we have a few more for financial aid. Do grad students qualify for loans for summer classes?
They do. Currently, our loans for this past summer have now closed. The applications that we were taking in.
So for future summers, if they didn't put summer potentially attending summer on their financial aid application, they would need to make sure they reach out to you or your office.
Sorry, yes, that is correct.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. I think we went over the student university grad students, I believe, do qualify for the state university grant, correct, Carmen?
Grad students do, yes.
Okay. And have all offers been sent out? I think if you're receiving any sort of aid, your award letter has already gone out, including loans, correct?
Yes, they have, but if you had seen an offer for an estimated amount extended and it has been removed and you have any questions about that, we do encourage you to reach out so that we can look into your specific account.
Thank you. And I think generally international students aren't eligible for aid through like the FAFSA or the Dreamers Act application is my understanding, but could you respond to that as well, Carmen? Do international students qualify for financial aid?
So if they're meeting AB 540 requirements, they may be eligible to apply for the California Dream Act. However, to apply for the FAFSA, they will need to be a US citizen or a US eligible non-citizen. So I hope that answers your question, but from my understanding, most international students aren't eligible for that federal aid.
I would encourage, if you are an international student, definitely look at scholarships as well. There are some that are open to international students. And then our international student and scholars office is also very helpful if you have questions about that. Let's see. Carmen, do you know about the Disney Aspire payment process, or is that a student business services question?
I can answer a bit about Disney Aspire, but I do encourage you to reach out to our scholarships office. Our scholarship office deals with Disney Aspire, and we have a counselor who focuses on Disney Aspire. But from my understanding, Disney Aspire is the last to pay out. So if you are receiving or you're a part of the Disney Aspire Guild, we are going to receive, and we haven't received it yet, but we do receive a list of students who have been approved by the Guild. We do not currently have the full list yet. So if you know you're on it, do reach out to our scholarships office and we can give a bit more information. But Disney is the last payer, and they will not pay if you do have another grant or anything else paying out for tuition and fees, because they will only pay for or cover tuition and fees. So if another one of your aid options is covering tuition and fees, because they're tuition and fee specific aid, Disney Aspire will not cover anything else.
Thank you. And this might be a question the student should reach out directly to financial aid about, but it sounds like they're getting additional aid, but it's not reflected on their current award package. I guess if there are changes to award packages, when will those be reflected?
Again, it will depend on a case-by-case basis. So I do once again encourage students to reach out to our office so that we can look into maybe why payments haven't been posted, or if there's anything else we need further from the student, or if it's something on our end that needs to be addressed.
And I believe this question is related to financial aid in terms of full-time. What do you need to be enrolled in to be considered full-time graduate student to receive full-time aid?
I believe it's 6 units or more to be considered full-time.
Thank you. Is that the same for to receive financial aid as a full-time student, Carmen? A grad student? Or I thought it was maybe 9 units.
Sorry, yes, I thought it was 9 or 8, but I can confirm and then update it on the slides and then forward them to you for when you send this out.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Let's see. We have a question about, whoops, where did it go? Let's see, let's give Carmen a break for a second. We have a question about Titan Health Services. Are you able to have an annual checkup under the medical services, or is there a limit to health services?
When you say like annual checkup, do you mean like a physical exam? Is it an eye exam? Is it, I guess that kind of depends. But you're always able to just do a checkup whenever. It may be at a cost, and that changes every semester. But I believe our physical exams right now are $15, and that can go for DMV, pre-employment, scuba diving, all those ones that require it. You're able to come and get those here.
Great, thank you. There are employment opportunities on campus for students. Please check. I don't know if Jen Maharo from Career Center mentioned this in her presentation, but the Career Center does post student job opportunities on campus, so definitely check their website for that information. Let's see here, trying to get through all. We answered the question about the full-time status. For class enrollment, sorry, when you were talking about the Disney Aspire program, Carmen, I guess if they pay out last, will it affect their class enrollment? So that would they be disenrolled for any reason, or does it kind of work like if they have pending aid, they're just held until everything finalizes?
From my understanding, and once again, I would encourage them to reach out to our scholarships office. There is a protection hold. But I would call in specifically with their student ID number or CWID, just to make sure and get a little more information on that Disney Inspire and how that would protect a student if they are the last payer.
Right. And I think you mentioned, but could you repeat when aid for fall will be awarded?
So our fall aid will be dispersed 10 days before the start of the semester. And I just checked in, and I can just add it to the slides once again, but on our website, it is 8 units for master's students and 6 units for doctoral students to be considered full-time.
Thank you. I think some of these were just answered. There are scholarships for master's students and doctoral students. Scholarships are all over the place as far as criteria and eligibility. And so we would just encourage you to check websites, talk to your advisors, look at your college or department websites. They all post their information if they have a scholarship specific to your program. The financial aid website provides scholarship information. And then again, that scholarship app in your portal, I would definitely encourage you to look at that and fill that application out for scholarships. There was another question I thought I saw about immunizations. Perhaps it was answered. Let's see, we have a question. What if the private loan lender asks for a certificate of enrollment by the university? How much time will it be provided? And what about the payment deadline? I don't know if you're asking if you need proof of enrollment. You can certainly request that from, there's something you can request from the registrar's office, is my understanding, to show that you are a current student. If you need a document authorized or notarized by the registrar's office to prove you are a current student, you can do that. And how much financial aid is impacted by housing circumstances? Carmen, I don't know if you want to explain a little bit about how housing or financial aid eligibility works and what exactly you look at in terms of providing awards to students.
Yes, so housing, so what we use to determine that is to give you a cost of attendance budget. And what that means is that reflected on your financial aid, depending on what your current situation is, whether you are a commuter, if you're living on campus, or if you're living off campus in an apartment, it just determines your cost of attendance. So that cost of attendance is the cap of how much financial aid you could be offered for that school year, or for that 9 months of the school year.
Perfect.
So I do just want to say, if you have any changes to your housing circumstance, you can always submit a form, a housing update form, and we'll process that in our office. And what that will do is just increase or decrease your cost of attendance depending on what you mark on the form. And what the form usually does is increase your loan eligibility if you're not already at max capacity. But most of the time, loans is what we will, or that cost of attendance will open up the ability to take out more loans rather than any other grant aid.
I think you sort of, from that answer, kind of answered the question about loans covering just class costs or the list of fees, or what did loans cover other expenses in addition to the registration fees and things like that, correct?
Correct. Yes, they do cover. The first thing that will be covered, however, will be that tuition and fees, and the rest will then be used if there are any other costs or any other items on the student's account. But yes, after that, the student would be able to use that rest of that loan however they need.
I think this question was sort of already answered, but I just want to reiterate, so that you confirmed that the units to be considered full-time for a grad student to get full-time aid is 8 units. So we have a student who's only going to be taking 5 units. So it would affect their financial aid for the year, correct? And they would potentially have to pay out of pocket depending on what they were going to be awarded now that they're not considered full-time.
Correct, but if any, I would encourage students to reach out to Student Business Services in case they're interested in potentially creating a tuition installment payment plan, or if they have any questions about when they'll have to pay what amount.
Thank you. There's a question about a student who has not received an award letter, but the portal says that they have pending aid. So should they be expecting something?
I would say just contact our office so we can see maybe why it's not reflecting on the student side if it is on our side.
Let's see. So this question might have been answered by the units as well, but it says the FAFSA loan page stated 6 units of 500 level courses were required to qualify for a loan, but there are 400 level electives for grad students. If I'm enrolled in 2 400 level electives, will that impact my loan?
I am not sure about that. I can check in, take a picture of that question, and I'll check in with our loan counselor. But I'm not too certain. I will try and get an answer for that to update on our slides.
Great, thank you. A question, it looks like from a nursing doctoral student. They were informed there's a set amount of 13,000 a doctoral nursing practice student can receive from FAFSA for the 2 years of study. Do you know if there are private loan institutions available for tuition support?
I am currently not aware if there are any, and that's just probably on my own end. But I would encourage the student to give us a call and speak with our loan counselor, and they'll be able to guide you through that.
Great. Sometimes your own personal bank, it doesn't hurt to reach out and ask them as well if they do offer any student loan opportunities. I'm sorry, someone asked about a form, but I'm not sure what form you're referencing. It was probably related to a previously answered question. So if you could provide more detail, we'll help you there. We will be sharing the slides and our recording. So definitely watch out for that. We will send you an email when they are available. Let's see. Does financial aid cover health insurance?
Sorry, I'm not entirely sure if I'm understanding the question correctly. Do we have a set grant that would cover health insurance? No. But potentially if there is loan that the students will be taking out, they may be able to use that for expenses that they incur.
Got it. Let's see, how long does it take to get the loan after accepting it on the student homepage?
So once you accept the loan on the student homepage and you go ahead and do that promissory note, you'll see it reflected not anymore as offered, but you'll see it as accepted. And once again, that will be then dispersed to students 10 days before the start of the semester.
Great. And the question about the form was to the housing, if your housing situation changes, is that form found on the financial aid website or?
Yes, correct. It is the housing update form on our website.
Thank you. Are we eligible for the Golden State Teacher Grant if our program includes a credential?
That would depend on the program. I would go ahead and apply. I believe if the Golden State Teacher Grant, that would be through web grants. But if you're referring to the federal Teach Grant, that would be on studentaid.gov.
Typically those, I'll just say I used to work in the College of Education, so I will just say typically those are for the credentials in high need areas. If you're doing a credential and master's, you're probably in the combined elementary education curriculum and instruction program with the multiple subject credential. And it would be your initial teaching credential then. So I believe if I'm remembering correctly, you could potentially be eligible for that. So definitely reach out, as Carmen said. You can also reach out to your program advisor and they can tell you more about that. Let's see, in some majors, 6 units are considered full-time for grad. For example, I know for grad students in civil engineering, 6 units is a minimum that they consider full-time enrollment. Well, that might be true as far as the program is concerned. Financial aid has a different definition of full-time, and so that affects your aid, of course. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carmen, but there are different definitions of full-time, unfortunately. So financial aid has the 8-unit requirement for grad students in order to be considered for full-time financial aid.
Correct. But once again, I would say call our office. We do know that this year there were some major changes to FAFSA. So just go ahead and give us a call and we can look into program specific. I know that we do have a special programs coordinator on our team. So just go ahead and give us a call.
Thank you. Excuse me. It looks like we have, I think, a question about the public transportation. I don't know if Chris is still on. Let's see him. I don't think so. He did provide a little bit of information. I think Tiana is putting some information in there for you as well. But my understanding is students are able to use the MetroLink and the bus system for free if you have your student ID. There are ways to find out more about that through our basic needs services. So definitely reach out to them. Let's see. I think we already mentioned the question about when is aid going to be applied for fall. I believe, Carmen, you said it was 10 days prior to the start of the semester.
Yes, it will be dispersed, but if you are concerned because you are not seeing any aid already reflected as an offer on your student homepage, do give us a call so we can look at your account specifically.
Thank you. We knew there would be lots of questions for you, Carmen, so thanks for hanging in there with us. Any other amenities? I'm not sure if you're referring to just general services on our campus, but I'm thinking of amenities that we probably didn't cover so far this evening. We do have a student gym. It's called the Recreation Center on campus. That is a fantastic facility for students to use to go work out. There are swimming pools, there's a basketball court, there are classes you can take, all sorts of other things I'm sure I'm probably not even aware of. But that's a building on campus that you have access to for free as a student. We also have, there was something else I was going to mention. I can't think of what it was now. But if you had specific questions about what types of amenities, certainly please let us know. If you are able to come to campus, either in your orientation with your program or a campus tour, which we are, if you were able to sign up for that next week, we will be sending out more information about that on Monday regarding the tours and where to meet and all of that good stuff. So you'll get to see more about our campus, but sometimes your program orientation will also cover those sorts of resources. So we do provide lots of wonderful amenities on campus. Let's see where else. Let's see. Is transportation and the Cal State Fullerton Police Department at the university available at night? Oh, yes, that is a great question. Our campus, I will say, by the way, is quite safe. I was a student here myself in the 90s. I have worked here for 25 years. I fortunately have never had a situation that, I would say was scary or difficult as far as safety is concerned. But yes, if you have, say, evening classes and you are worried about going from a building to the parking lot, you can request an escort to your car and things like that. And so our campus police department is wonderful, and they are there for you even after 5 o'clock. So they're a wonderful support to students as well. We will definitely reach out if anyone drops out of our campus tours next week. We will certainly let you know. We will also provide information about how to you can either do your own self-guided tour. You can also contact our campus tours office and schedule a tour with them. You can do a personalized tour if you prefer. Your program orientation, if you are going to one of those with your program, they may be offering a campus tour. So there will be other opportunities for you to do that if needed. I believe you can start the basic needs services. As I said, I think Chris jumped off the webinar, but basic needs services can be accessed as soon as the fall begins, because I don't think they're technically open right now since it's still summer. But certainly check out their website and fill out their form as he suggested. Let's see, regarding financial aid, if I'm receiving partial financial reimbursement from my employer, are they considered a contributor regarding the financial aid application?
Go ahead and give us a call for those specific situations so we can kind of walk you through what that would look like.
Wonderful, thank you. Let's see. This question says they were told the financial aid would not be distributed to grad students until all undergraduate aid is allocated, and grad students get what's left over. That sounds like false rumor that's been spread, but Carmen, do you want to address that?
Yes, so our I haven't heard that, but no, from our office, that is not our policy. We'll be distributing aid. I think what was happening, or what was we saw happening, was our first-time students were receiving their offers first, but that's only because there were glitches in our system. But as of now, we should have been distributing aid to all of our students. And once again, if you don't see it reflected on your account, do get in contact with us so we can see what's going on, if it's a glitch on our end, or if there's anything that further information we need, and maybe that's why it's not on your account yet.
Wonderful, thank you. There is public transportation from the Fullerton train station to our campus. And as I shared, I believe the buses are free as a student. And I believe the MetroLink is now as well, from what Chris shared earlier. So definitely take advantage of that if needed. The campus tour orientation is not required. That is just something we offer to students. Unfortunately, it is limited because of the tour ambassadors. Just aren't enough of them to accommodate all of you. And again, some of your programs provide their own orientations and a campus tour. And so you may be getting it that way, but you can also reach out to them and request a tour or do a self-guided tour, which they provide on their website. So we'll make sure to send that out and that information out with this as well. Where you request, the campus tour information, we will put that in the email we send to you with these slides and the recording. So you have that. We'll put some other information. As I mentioned, we have a resource guide that we're going to share with you. It will have information about parking, and other resources that we weren't able to talk about. As I mentioned, 2.5 hours is a long time, but it really just isn't enough to talk about the things that we do provide to our students. So definitely watch out for that email. Should you enroll in a payment plan while you're waiting for your disbursement? And Carmen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you do have aid pending, you should be able to stay enrolled in classes and you will not be dropped until your aid is awarded. So if you shouldn't need to sign up for the payment plan if you have aid pending, correct?
That is correct. So if you have what we call anticipated aid, so you see something on your end that says you've accepted if it's a loan or it was offered on your official award letter if it's a grant, we call that anticipated aid. So Student Business Services know that there is aid coming to cover those costs. So you should not be needing to sign up for a payment plan. However, if there is an amount that you know will not be covered based on the aid that you have been offered, that is something you are responsible for paying. And again, if you have any questions on what your anticipated aid is, it is what you see on your official award letter. But you can always give Student Business Services a call and they can let you know if they would recommend you to sign up for a payment plan if that's something you are interested in.
I see some questions about parking. If you're new to Cal State Fullerton, I would definitely encourage you to visit the campus before your first day of classes just to get familiar with the area and our parking. I will tell you the first probably 2 weeks of the semester are a little hectic. And but then it's, as people sort of find where they're going and their class schedule settle down, it's not so bad throughout the rest of the semester. If you arrive here before 9 o'clock, typically there's great parking. It's sort of that 9 to 3 o'clock time frame. And sometimes we have a lot more evening classes now. So sometimes the evenings can get a little busy as well. But it's really those first 2 weeks of the semester that are a little hectic. But again, come visit our campus if you're new to the area so you can familiarize yourself with the parking and all the buildings and everything. So if you weren't able to register for the August 16th campus tour, unfortunately, you can't just show up because we are limited. So our tour ambassadors can only take so many students at a time. So we can only accommodate the students who registered. So again, if you want a campus tour, you can reach out to Campus Tours directly and we'll provide that information. You can also do your own self-guided tour. They have a wonderful, I think it's an app you can download or it's on their website and you could do a self-guided tour. It's wonderful. I believe there is a parking discount for carpooling, but that is something you'll want to check in with parking about to get more information, and we'll include their contact information as well. The aid, as Carmen shared, is going to be dispersed about 10 days before the semester starts. So that would be automatic. There's nothing else you need to do there. For those in the MBA program, I know some classes are in at IVC. I would reach out to your program advisor regarding that. I believe they do have classes outside of Cal State Fullerton, but definitely check with them to be sure. Is Cal State Fullerton providing any free campus VPN for students? That is a question I would check with. We have a great information technology. I'm forgetting the name of it now, but in the library, they are a wonderful resource. We will provide information there. There's a website as well that will be able to help you, but we'll be sure to include that information in our resource guide. Let's see, is there parking enforced the first 2 weeks or is it relaxed? That is a great question. Parking is enforced year round, unfortunately. So if you park on campus without a parking pass, you will potentially be ticketed. So please be sure you have that when you start or anytime you visit. If you are going to visit campus before classes start and you don't yet have your pass, you can purchase a daily permit. If you are not able to attend the in-person tour next week, please contact our office at bradrecept@fullerton.edu. Karina, thank you. I believe is typing that email in there for you. But yes, please reach out to our office and let us know if you are not attending so someone who is on the wait list can attend. And by the way, I think I failed to mention earlier, our office, the Office of Graduate Studies, some of you may have visited us before in the College Park building, but we are no longer in that building. We moved over the summer. We are now in the McCarthy Hall building in room 103. So please feel free if you're going to be on campus, if you'd like to come by and say hello or ask any questions, we will be here to help. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I think the last question there, I would recommend that you reach out to the financial aid office because it is kind of a case-by-case basis with things that are going on right now with financial aid disbursement and things like that. Generally speaking, you should have gotten your award letter. You'll have your aid dispersed 10 days before the semester starts. But if you're not getting, you haven't received information, please reach out to financial aid and they can follow up. Oh my gosh, I think that's all of our questions. At least that's all the questions I see. Does anybody else have any last burning questions? Thank you all for hanging in there, by the way, and thank you for everyone who's been in the chat answering questions. Oh, I see one coming in. You're very welcome. Before, I know there's a question coming, but before people start jumping off, we do want to see how you're feeling now that we've gone through all of this information. Hopefully it was very helpful and you're feeling a little bit better, but we do want to take one more quick poll before you leave and see how you're feeling now after 2.5 hours. Let's see, this is a question. Oh, not a question, just an FYI. Thank you so much. If you're registering for a parking pass and only have a temporary license, they'll have you buy your permit under the license VIN. As soon as the official plates arrive, you can add them to your parking permit. Otherwise, you'll get a ticket. Not a fun way to start the semester. Very true. As I said, they do check for passes at all times of the year. So please make sure you're ready to go. Oh, temporary plates. Thank you very much. Good information to share. Thank you so much for being a good friend to your peers. And thank you so much for completing the poll. It looks like a few of you have responded. If you haven't yet, please let us know how you're feeling now. It looks like more of you are feeling a little more ready this fall than before. Yes, I will put let's see if I can get the poll up again. I'll have to start it over, I think. So let me see. Oh, here we go. We'll relaunch. Okay, sorry. If you already filled it out, you can do it again, but I don't think the poll launched for everybody. So if you see it now, feel free to chime in there and let us know how you're doing. Looks like you're feeling a little more confident, which is great. By the way, whatever you're feeling right now before the semester starts, it's all normal. Everybody has, different emotions in terms of going back to school. I used to have the most random dreams before my first day of class when I was in college. So all of that is quite normal. Just know that we are here to support you. Please reach out if you have any questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help because we are here to provide the information that you need. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so we're all here to support you. unless there are any other questions, it looks like you're all feeling a little bit better. So that makes me happy because that means we did our job. Thank you so much to our presenters. Thank you so much to the team in the Office of Grad Studies for hanging in there with me on Friday night. And thank you all for being here. Again, welcome to Cal State Fullerton. Welcome to graduate school. We are so excited. I'm going to go to the next slide just so you have some last minute contact information there. The Office of Grad Studies, I told you where we are. There's our contact information. Reach out, email, call. Also, please come by and visit the Grad Studies Center when it opens up again, and come meet our new coordinator. We'll make sure that we introduce you to that person when they start. But again, thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful semester. We look forward to meeting you in person hopefully soon. Have a great evening. Thank you.